Hi, today we'll be discussing 3 rarely known gods within the Greek pantheon. Let's get straight into the video. Aether was the primordial god of light and bright ether of the heavens. He was the personified upper air in the bright, clear part of the heaven. His mists filled the space between the solid dome of the sky and the transparent mists of the earthbound air. Aether enveloped the mountain peaks, clouds, stars, and sun and moon. His parents were deemed as Erebus and Nynx, and he was considered the brother of Hemera. Aether and Hemera were said to be associated with gladness, while their parents Erebus and Nynx were associated with sadness. In the Orphic texts, though, they speak of Kronos giving birth to Aether, Chaos, and Erebus. Aether was one of the first primordial gods who brought forth the cosmic air fans, a mystical ancient deity who created new life, hatched from. He had one daughter named Thalassia, with his sister Hemera. Yeah, they were lovers. Though they had Brodus, a mysterious figure whom little is known about. In one early, though somewhat obscure story, Aether and Hemera were the parents of Eros, the god of love, as well, but it's been debunked through other stories. He also had several other unknown children, like the rain cloud nymphs and the Nephilim, but we don't know their mothers. How day and night commenced went a little like this. In the evening, his mother Nynx drew the dark veil across the sky, obscuring Aether and bringing night. In the morning, his sister and wife Hemera dispersed the night's mist to reveal the shining blue ether of day. In the ancient cosmogonies, night and day were also regarded as elements separate from the sun and moon. Aether is the omnipotent divine entity that resides above the world of humans, holding that bright blue, slightly visible side of the sky. It was believed that only the gods could breathe his air. There were 3 kinds of air. From top to bottom, the first air was Aether, the high and majestic blue mist covering the mountain peaks as well as the sun, the moon, and the stars. The second or middle air was Chaos, the pale haze that surrounded the world of mortals. And lastly, the third air was Erebus, the dark fog which located deep under the earth and engulfed the lands of the dead. Aether wasn't depicted as a humanoid personification of an element, instead he was considered to literally be that element. This means that all of the air between the sky and the earth's air was considered to literally be Aether. Aether also served as a protector to separate humans and earthly beings from Tartarus, the god of the lowest and deepest parts of Hades, the underworld. Aether's female counterpart was Ethra, the titaness of the clear blue sky and the mother of the sun and moon. Atlas was the god who bore the sky in his hand, the personification of the quality of endurance. Atlas was the son of the titan Attis and the oceanist Clemamine. Others say he is the son of a nymph named Asia. There's no clear answer. He also had 3 brothers, Prometheus, Epimetheus, and Monoecius, as well as he had 8 daughters, the goddess nymph Calypso and 7 Pleiades. Their mother is unknown, for he had many wives. Another Oceanid, Ethra, bore him a few more daughters, the Hyades, and then his only son Hyas. Atlas was the leader of the Titans in the war against Zeus. After their loss, he was condemned to carry the heavens upon his shoulders. He was known as the god who turns heaven on their axis, causing the stars to revolve. Homer describes Atlas in the Odyssey as deadly minded, as knowing the depths of all seas and holding the pillars far out in the Atlantic Ocean which held the heavens and earth apart. Other associations with Atlas are as a father of many constellations, as well as a source of great wisdom and the founder of astronomy, and by Plato in his Criterias as an original king of Atlantis. He was mostly known for his appearance in the 12 Labors of Hercules. By the hero was required by Eurystheus to fetch the golden apples from the fabled gardens of Hesperides, which were sacred to Hera and guarded by the fearsome 100-headed dragon Ladon. So Hercules told Atlas that Athena would hold the world while Atlas went and fetched the apples, to which he agreed. Once returned, he refused to hold the heavens once more, but then was tricked by Hercules to do so anyway. The hero also slew the Hesperian dragon, which appears as the Titan's tormentor, and built 2 great pillars at the ends of the earth, perhaps to relieve the Titan of his labor. Atlas seems to have been a marine creature who supported the pillars that held heaven and earth apart. These were thought to rest in the sea immediately beyond the most western horizon, but later in the name of Atlas was transferred to the range of mountains in northwestern Africa. Atlas was subsequently represented as the king of that district, turned into a rocky mountain by the hero Perseus, who, to punish Atlas for his inhospitality, showed him the Gorgon's head, the sight of which turned men into stone, resulting in what is the Atlas Mountains today. Attis was the god of vegetation and consort of the great mother of gods Cybele. His conception was quite interesting. It goes like this. The daughter of the god of the Sangrius River, which flows in Asia Minor into the Black Sea, conceived Attis not by intercourse, but by taking the fruit of an almond tree that had grown from the sexual organ of Augustes, which the gods had cut off. Some time after the boy was born, she exposed him, but he was saved by a goat. Years later, Attis became a youth of beauty, and he was sent by some of his relatives to Pessinus in Central Minor near Mount Didymus to marry the king's daughter. However, when the wedding ceremony was to be celebrated and they were all singing, Augustes made a sudden appearance, whereupon Attis, losing his mind, cut off his own genitals. What is with this guy making people cut off his own genitals? So being completely mad, Attis ran to the top of Mount Didymus, uttering such words that let understand that he was seeing the Erinyes. He mangled his body with a sharp stone and trailed his hair into the dust, crying as he tortured himself and that he had deserved what he was going through, then shouted repeatedly, "Ah, perish the parts that were my ruin," whereupon he cut off his genitals. When this happened, Augustes repented and asked Zeus to grant that Attis's body shall not decay, for Augustes himself was in love with Attis. Dude, that's your son! But whatever happened to that request, Attis was buried in Pessinus, where a temple was built to the mother of the gods. Then Attis turned into a pine tree, which is why this tree is one of the mother of God's offerings, whom they called Augustes, though she is often identified with Rhea, Cronos' wife. Later at the time, about 200 BC, his mother was brought to Rome, later at the words of the prophetic woman in Delphi. Attila, the king at the time, understanding that Rome traced its origin to Aeneas and Phrygian ancestors, let the messengers take the goddess, whose image was embarked in northwestern Asia Minor sometime later. For this reason, the Asian temple became famous where the mother of the gods was venerated. She was in Asia called Augustes, and being the object of great devotion, the priests achieved extraordinary prosperity. Well, that's the end of this video. What'd you think? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time. Bye-bye.